There are butts flying all over the place in people's faces. Hi, my name is Lacey Ray, and welcome to my recap of episode 4 of Temptation Island. Ooh, it's getting steamy. It's getting going. If you haven't seen my recaps of episodes 1 through 3, go check them out now. And I'm also reviewing The Big D, which comes on after Temptation Island, Love Island UK, and Love Always. And Too Hot to Handle's coming soon, and Love is Blind is coming back soon. So make sure to like and subscribe so that you get my recaps for all of those. Let's get into the temptation. We ended episode 3 at the guys' bonfire, and Great had just seen Paris's video of her saying that she would suck Tajik's if the cameras weren't rolling. Was the reaction from the men. Boys, I should say. Mark asks Great how he's feeling, and Great said he's embarrassed, he can't trust her, and he's hurt. Mark says that a relationship is limited when there is no trust, and Great takes that to heart. And Mark also tells him that to be open to progress a relationship means taking these risks and potentially being hurt. Rob's turn. Rob gets to see Vanessa. And Vanessa's talking about, in Vanessa's clip, she's talking about how she settled for Rob, how he's normally not somebody she would go for, and all her friends are like, ew, why are you dating him? And then it also cuts to a clip of Vanessa at the party telling Bryce that she wants to claim him and be with him. When Mark asks Rob how he's feeling about the clip, Rob says he's scared because he feels slightly relieved that he sees what a bad match he and Vanessa are, and that he's almost like, oh wow, I can actually let this go and be free and move on to and actually like be myself, because he also says that he's becoming more himself the longer he's in the villa, meaning without Vanessa's control and claws in him. Mark congratulates Rob for coming to some sort of personal growth and realization that they are not a good couple. We end with Hall's clip, and in Hall's clip we see Caitlin and taking Mike on their like first date, I believe it was, and she's just talking about the family thing and how she loves Hall but he wants family, she doesn't, blah 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 blah, and how she's just kind of getting to know Mike. And it's really not that interesting of a clip, to be honest. It's just them being like, oh hey, it's nice to know you, and this is our issues, and it's like, yeah, Hall knows their issues, everybody knows their issues by now, it's family. Hall's response to the clip was that he's relieved that they're both taking this process seriously and that she's actually getting to know other people. He also says that he's been looking for somebody like Michaela for a very long time because he's been wanting that family for a very long time. And he says that it's happening a lot faster than he was expecting, but he's grateful to be on the show and grateful that Caitlin brought him here. Mark, and this I think is my favorite piece from the bonfire, for me anyway, he said, okay, Hall, but make sure you're not auditioning a handmaid, okay? Make sure, get to know these people as if you will never have kids, okay? Don't make it just about that, because that's just a handmaid or a nurse or like a baby mama, and it should be more than that. It should be that relationship that then can build to that family. So I really appreciated that Mark said that, and I hope Hall takes that to heart and is not just like, oh, you want kids? I want kids. Let's get married. There's more to it than that. That is the end of the bonfires. So Mark tells the guys, but also the females, that they're going to be going on a group date with their singles, and at the end of the date, one or more could be eliminated, and they have to make that choice on who they're going to send packing. After the bonfires, the girls are at home and they're talking about their experiences. Maricela says that she feels almost relieved and lighter and almost off the hook now that Chris has maybe found somebody who ticks more boxes, so she doesn't have to try as hard to live up to that. It's like, oh, good, I'm free, because they're in the codependent relationship. Caitlin says her issue with Hall is worried about the after the marriage part. Okay, we get married, and then what? And that's her concern. It's like that big question mark of then what? Does she quit her career to have a family that Hall wants and she doesn't, or vice versa, and then it ends up they resent each other. So that's what she's worried about. The guys are talking after their bonfire. This conversation gets heated, and Tammy is saying that she feels that she is coming off way too desperate and she's gonna back off a little bit, but she isn't a great. The girls think that Chris is not authentic, and Abby, who Chris was kind of hitting it off with earlier, chimes in and says that she thinks he has issues, and Chris is like, no, you're just twisting things. And then Abby says that Chris is a narcissist and he's not honest. I'm not entirely sure where this is coming from. Not that I disagree with her, because I do think that Chris has issues and he is kind of into himself a little bit because he's controlling over Maricela. But I'm not sure where it's coming from. But they are living together, so I'm sure it's come up. Chris gets mad at the situation and leaves the conversation. Then, inside the house, Great is talking about doing body shots and whipped cream off of other people because he's kind of over Paris. He's like, fine, F it, I'm out. I'm going to do what I want now. And I'm going to pretend that she's not even here. I'm going to do great. I see shenanigans are coming. They're a-coming down the train. The girls go on a fishing date with their singles, and the guys go on a soccer date with their ladies. And after they have their respective activities, a couple people meet one-on-one and kind of get the tea on how people are feeling. Vanessa talks to Christian with a K, and he says that he's open to relationship, but he's not really feeling any super sparks with anybody in the villa yet. He just hasn't really had time. Caitlin talks to Griffin, and Griffin lays it out there that he is really into Caitlin, and she's the only one for him. She just kind of laughs it off. I'm not sure. I mean, I think Vanessa knew that Griffin was into Caitlin when they were horseback riding a while ago. So, horseback riding? I don't remember what that date was. Vanessa also talks to Bryce because she's mad at him that he's not thirsting over her. He wants to slow down. He doesn't want to be claimed or claim anyone. He also wants to talk to the other women, and Vanessa is not having it. She thinks he's being wishy-washy and telling him to make a decision. Honestly, I think she's just too much for him, and he's like, I don't want her, but I don't know how to get out of this because I'm terrified of the woman. And I think that's what's going on with Bryce. I think he's not into Vanessa 100, and he doesn't know how to disengage from the claws. That's just my guess. On the guy's side, Paul is talking to Abby, and which is weird because Abby was vibing with Chris, but then they're getting in a fight now. So I don't know. I guess she's shooting her shot with Hall. Hall says that he's pretty much into Michaela at this point, and Abby is worried about being eliminated. Christopher is talking to Tia, who has moved from Great to Rob to Chris. She's just trying to stay relevant and stay in the house. And she says she's going to step her game up. Rob is talking to Marjorie, who he took on the date, the first date, and I don't know why. Marjorie is saying, I'm good vibes. And then she proceeds to throw Nafisa under the bus and says that Nafisa is the one who should be eliminated because she's not even a good friend in the house to anybody. And it's like, this isn't about friendship. And it doesn't seem like Marjorie wants to be in a relationship with Rob, which was clear from their first date. She's like, I don't want you, go for Desiree. And so now she's at risk of being elimination. She's like, no, don't eliminate me. I'm good vibes. Meanwhile, she's throwing other people under the bus. Make up your mind, Marjorie. Make up your mind. Rob doesn't like that she is attacking other women. I'm sure he gets plenty of that from Vanessa. So he's kind of like, enough. No more drama. No more drama. No drama. Tammy and Great are talking. And Tammy, again with the desperation, is like, what do I have to do to be your number one? And I want you. And Great's like, I came here with a girlfriend. Like, be for real here. Like, you can't force being number one if they don't want you to be number one. And he also came here with a girlfriend. He's also talking to Nafisa. So, like, calm down. Great says that it's enough that he's giving her a chance. So calm down. The eliminations. On the ladies' side, the bottom three are Christian with a K, Griffin, and Bryce. And the eliminated party is Griffin. He tried. He shot a shot with Caitlyn. She I guess wasn't having it, and he's gone. Barely knew you. Oh well. On the guys' side, the bottom three are Tia, Marjorie, and Abby. And out on this side is Marjorie. And when Marjorie gets eliminated, she gets bitchy and starts throwing names, like saying Nafisa should be leaving because she's mean and attacks everybody, and all the girls are like, "Wah!" And Nafisa's like, why are you calling me out? Why are you talking about me? Why you're the one who's attacking me? I did nothing to you. So like, the right person's going home. Whew. Drama. We are going to wrap up the ladies' side. So after the elimination, they have a talent show. And the girls are going to rate their guys and their talents. And the winner gets to pick one of the ladies, and the ladies get to pick what they win. So that means that it's like, oh, it's consenting, and everybody gets who/what they're comfortable with. Talent show. Blonde Christian gives a lap dance to the ladies. I didn't catch everybody's numbers and what they got, but I'll tell you who won. Christian with a K juggled. Bryce shotgunned a beer. Sebastian had kind of a cool one. He was leaning over, bent over. He put a football on his back, and then he took off his shirt without the football falling, and he did like a rotate or something like that. He did kind of a movement without the football falling. So that was pretty neat. Michael wrote a poem /rap /spoken word for Caitlyn, dedicated to Caitlyn. She seemed to like it. I thought it was a bit cringe. Not gonna lie, sorry. So sorry. And Tajik stripped with like oil or something poured on his abs to make them all slick and shiny. He gave Paris a very hot lap dance. All the ladies were like, whoo. Paris was whoo. When Tajik was on her lap, they smooshed. So Paris, great who? So, okay. Heating up. Apparently, numerically, it was a tie between Michael's spoken word for Caitlyn and Tajik's lap dance for Paris. I forget how they picked the winner, but Tajik won. Hands down, everybody was like, oh my God. So Tajik won, and he picks Paris as his lady, and she picks the prize as cuddling in bed that night. They've kissed already, and now his prize is cuddling in bed that night. We get the night cam vision of Paris and Tajik making out in bed under the covers. I am not sure how far they went, but I'm very, very curious. Also, I feel like the ads for this season said something about a red light, and I haven't seen that yet, so I'm wondering when that's gonna kind of happen. I'm interested. Maybe it's like on their final dates or something, but I'd be curious to know when that is going to be incorporated. But right now, Tajik and Paris are making out under the covers. Who knows what else? Mike decides to try and impress Caitlyn after his word poetry thing, and he puts roses all over her bed. She comes up and she's like, oh, how sweet, great, I have to go take off my makeup and stuff, I'm gonna go get ready for bed. He says, oh, don't worry, I'll be here when you get out. And she's like, no, but like I have to like go get ready and stuff. And he goes, oh no, I'll just be sleeping here, it's fine. Caitlyn's not for that, and so she says, oh, I can't sleep here. She tells her confessional, so she goes downstairs without telling him and sleeps on the couch. Meanwhile, Michael is up there waiting for her to come out of the bathroom with the rose and just like, waiting for her. She's just not that into you, dude. He's trying too hard. Too much, Michael. That is the last we see of the girls this episode. We end with the guys. They are having a paint party or a finger painting party, but they're all putting paint all over each other. They're putting edible stuff on each other, like whipped cream and booze, I'm sure, and licking it off each other. So it's getting messy. There are butts flying all over the place in people's faces. They're twerking and some of these ladies' thighs, I would fall over if I dropped it that low and tried what they're doing. So, especially in heels. But I think they're doing it barefoot because everybody's like dancing and in bathing suits, lingerie, whatever. So they're having this great party. Rob is talking to Desiree on the couch. And they're kind of laying side by side on the couch. And they start smooching. And I don't mean smooching. I mean making out on the couch and like leg over the other, dry humping on the couch. Get it, Rob! As long as it's not Vanessa, I'm here for it. Chris is talking to Alexis, and she was the one who he went on the first date with, and apparently they're hitting it off. I don't really hear much from her, but she is liking Chris so far. The episode ends either that night or the next morning. I'm not entirely sure because it's like night cam sort of, I don't know. Great has a blanket over his head, and he's sitting at the counter in the kitchen. Nafisa says something to Tammy like, oh, did you brush your teeth yet? Or something like that. And Tammy gets offended by this. I'm not sure why. I guess she thought that Nafisa was taking a dig at her. Like, oh, you should brush your teeth, your breath smells. Or you should brush your teeth because you're gross. Or I don't know. I don't know why she said it. I don't know why Tammy was upset. But it was. So they bring the fight into the kitchen. Nafisa and Tammy, Great sitting there just watching all of this, either drunk or hungover, or both. I'm not sure. Tia's also there. I don't even know why, but Tia starts crying because she's like involved in this, I guess, somehow. Or Nafisa says something to her like, why are you even talking to us? Like, back out. And then she starts crying, and it's like, Nafisa says that she's not even doing anything. She's not mean. She's just real. And Tammy calls her a mean bitch. All of this in front of Great, who just sits there with a blanket on his head and watches and listens to this entire thing without doing anything. And he doesn't have to, because these girls are going to drive themselves into the ground, and they're going to get eliminated, and he's going to end up with Paris, I guess, or somebody random who's not involved in this. I don't know. I don't. It just seemed like an excessive fight over nothing. And I think both of them are shooting themselves in the foot by fighting like this in front of the guy that they're trying to impress. Unless he's into this. I don't know. I'm not rooting for Great either, so I don't really care who he picks. Yeah. It was just really awkward and dramatic and kind of funny. What did you think of this week's episode of Temptation Island? Do you think the right people went home? What do you think about kind of who's connecting with who? What do you think of the smooches and the talent show? Who would you have had win? Who would you have had win the talent show? I think Tajik won. Although the football with Sebastian on his back, I thought that was actually pretty talented. So, what did you think? Leave me a comment down below, and be sure to check out my playlist of all the other dating shows that I'm recapping. And if you like my content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when my next recap is live. Thank you for your support. I will see you next time.